Yar, it still be September when I be filming these videos. On today's video, I'm going to be ranking all the Ghost and Undead Digimon. It's come, Spooktober Spectacular 2! Some nice friends you got there, YouTube. Yar me hearties and welcome back to Karn Spooktober Spectacular. And I had this. I don't know if that's worse. I don't know if it's worse that I had this in the house already. But yes, today we're going to be ranking the Ghost and Undead type Digimon. Initially, my plan for this video was to do the Dark Area Digimon, and it took an hour to record and I scrapped it, but thanks to channel member Andrew, he suggested doing Ghost and Undead Digimon, which brought the number of Digimon on this list way down and hopefully will make for a more fun ranking. I'm going to be ranking on 3 criteria here. First of all, just how cool I think the design is. Second of all, if they have like a prominent anime, manga, or video game appearance that I'm familiar with. And third, because it is the Spooktober Spectacular, if they are suitably spooky, scary, or fit the Halloweeny vibe. So we're back on good old tier maker, and we're starting with Bakemon. I'm actually currently raising Bakemon to Pumpkinmon on the Digimon VB on the Dynasty of the Evil dim card set, which comes with this dim card holder incidentally, and it's not worth it. If you can get it cheap, but this thing sucks. But Bakemon himself, I really think is holding down the spooky, scary ghosts vibe from Digimon. There's not a ton of like ghostly Digimon. Thankfully now we do have Ghostmon, who we'll get to in a little bit, but Bakemon is definitely like the OG ghost Digimon. Especially in his like reference book art, it really heavily leans into that like 90s Spawn aesthetic, but he is definitely going in A. Especially because we are ranking on spookiness and Halloween vibes too, and yeah, Bakemon fits that to a T. This hat is gonna be a problem. Next up is Breakdramon, and honestly not a Digimon I find myself thinking about very often. Apparently it showed up in Cross Wars, haven't got there yet, and also the remains of a Breakdramon showed up in Digimon Adventure 2020 in the Skull Scorpiomon Desert. I don't have any particular affinity for this Digimon. I think the design is cool enough. It feels like a sort of building site version of the D Brigade almost, although it is an evolution of Groundramon. It's not really getting these spooky points to me unless like you can like tangentially say that you're just scared of the concept of dragons. It's a C. It's a C. And then we have all the Death X Digimon. Now, Death Evolution is a concept that I am yearning to see explored more in Digimon. Basically, we only have death relations related to like Dorumon and Ponchomon as Death Evolutions, although Ponchomon doesn't have to be a Death Evolution anymore. But I would love this idea of Digimon having to die to be reborn, kind of the opposite of them getting stronger and growing, having to wither away to get these new forms. So conceptually, it's very cool. Plus, what is the ultimate fright? The thing I'm most afraid of is death. I don't know about you. It's got weirdly dark. I also do like that rather than the kind of typical variant thing of just being recolors, they are actually modified versions of their base non-Death X counterparts. But I am one of those weirdos that isn't a huge fan of the Dorumon or Ryudamon line, so I can't say I'm super in love with them, but they are definitely getting bonus points for being spooky, and I think I'd happily put all of them at A. Is it a bit cheap to put all of them in the same ranking and not do it individually? Yes, but it's my list. Happy Halloween, fuckers. Next, we have Dracmon or Dracumon, and this is a Digimon that I am super looking forward to getting its chance to shine. Hopefully, when Digimon Survive comes out. As of time of recording, Digimon Survive just got another rating in Brazil. That's 2 ratings. That feels like it's ramping up towards release. And of course, Dracmon is going to be the partner of Kaito in Digimon Survive, and it has been confirmed to be showing up in Digimon Ghost Game. So the potential of this Digimon, after a long time of just kind of being in the background, showing up in like cross and video games and stuff, is huge. And I love just having another spooky, mischievous rookie that isn't Impmon. And I do love that Dracmon feels distinct from Impmon. Dracmon, you go in A. High A by Bakemon. Transmission. Attention, humans of the past world. I am the Futurest Karn, a Karn from the end of time who has absorbed all knowledge of the world and all mistakes of the Karns of the past. I know how the Spooktober Spectacular begins and ends, and every mistake the pastest Karns have made. And how, you wonder, did I obtain this knowledge? From today's sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community community with thousands of inspiring classes for creators. Explore new skills, deepen existing passions, and get lost in creativity, including classes on illustration, film and video, productivity, and much more. This month, I've been taking the YouTube Success, Script, Shoot, and Edit class with MKBHD, or you may know him better as Marquez Brownlee. It's really been helping me detach myself from my own internal thoughts on how I've been running my channel, and seeing where MKBHD and I are similar and differ. But I think it would be invaluable for those of you in my audience that I know are eager to start your own channels. Skillshare is curated specifically for learning, meaning there are no ads and they're always launching new premium classes, so you can stay focused and follow wherever your creativity takes you. Whether you're a dabbler or a pro, a hobbyist or a master, you're creative. Discover what you can make with all classes for every skill level. And if you're interested in checking out Skillshare yourself, the first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link in the description will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare, so you can start exploring your creativity today. Thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video, and let's get back to the rankings. Next up is Phantomon, and I do like Phantomon, but I find myself thinking about it less than Bakemon. Phantomon has pretty much an appearance in every season of the anime, a ton of the video games, and I think is a really decent evolution for Bakemon. But I just don't feel like it feels like a full step up evolution-wise from Bakemon. And now the same could be said for Pumpkinmon that I do prefer, and we'll get to that in a minute, but I just feel like it's like a full ghost evolution for Bakemon. They could have done something a little bit more interesting, made it a little bit bigger, maybe be more inspired by a different yokai, I don't know. I think it would be very unfair to give Phantomon anything less than an A. Damn, I really do like spooky Digimon, don't I? Well, next up is Ghostmon, and I love Ghostmon, one of my absolute favourite new rookies of all time. Very recently revealed in the Pendulum Z line, just now coming into the VB with the Dynasty of the Evil Dim card. Has a card in the Digimon card game, but as of yet, no anime, manga, or video game appearances because it literally came out last year. Ghostmon is like getting there for me with kind of like Bluecomon territory of like just a new Digimon that I really think needs love, and Bluecomon's been out in the field a lot longer now, so he's getting more love. Ghostmon still has plenty of time, but I adore him. He's super spooky. He's a great rookie for Bakemon and a bunch of others, including Wizardmon, I think even. He's going in S tier, 100%. Next up are Mad Leomon and Mad Leomon Armed Mode, and unfortunately this is where my own personal experiences with the Digimon franchise let me down, because I didn't really delve deep into Cross Wars. I'm changing that now. I started Cross Wars, I'm like 10 episodes in, so I don't have a ton of experience with Mad Leomon. This is going to be a very superficial ranking, and I apologize for that. This is going to be going basically just on design and its spooky factor. I have a bit of a soft spot for the Leomon family, and I also have a bit of a soft spot for Ow the Edge designs, and this is kind of a great combination of that. These are great. I love these. A tier for sure. You ready for the first bad ranking of the list? It's Matadormon. At first I was really confused why this Matador Digimon is an undead Digimon, but according to the reference book, it is a vampire. It can't survive unless it sucks a Digimon's blood, but as not just anyone will do, it seeks only the blood of strong Digimon and seems to constantly be moving from place to place. That made it a lot more cooler and a lot kind of more fitting for this list. Don't love the design. It feels really weird to me. It's like, I look at it, it's almost like a magic eye picture. I can never quite place what I'm looking at with Matadormon. However, it is definitely saved by the fact that it is a vampire and that is in the listing, so of course it's going to get extra spooky factor, but I don't have any attachment to it, and I don't think the design is particularly exciting. I think this goes in C with Breakdramon, but probably closer to a B than a D. Next up is Mummymon. He's a mummy. He's going to be in Digimon Ghost Game. He's half of one of my favorite partnerships in the entire history of Digimon. Do I need to say more? S tier. Thank you very much, Mummymon. You're the best. Moving on. And then we have Neo Vamdamon, another Digimon which is on the Dynasty of Evil Dim card, and again I don't have much experience with this Digimon, but just a very good design, very solid. I can even see bits of like Beelzemon in here, which I like a lot. It's another high A. It's another high A. Probably like here. Here. Yeah. Next we have Ponchomon. Like I say, I love Death Evolution. It's also an armor evolution. It's Patamon with the Digi-Egg of Sincerity, and makes sense, right? You know, Patamon using the Digi-Egg of Sincerity would look like Togemon, I guess, and also the poncho kind of looks like Patamon's fur. Yeah, I don't love it as an armor, but I've definitely come to appreciate it more. And separated from its identity as an armor evolution, as a kind of like alternate evolution now for Palmon, as a ghost Digimon or undead Digimon in its own right. I do actually really like it. I think we're going to put it in B. We're going to put it in B for, but it's not perfect. Raremon, How are we pronouncing this? It's a big pile of sludge. According to the reference book, it is an undead Digimon whose muscles have all rotted away. It tried to extend its life by mechanizing its body, but it destabilized its body and its configuration data has begun to break down. So it's a Digimon that's literally melting its muscles apart. There is something just so dark and like Cronenberg body horror about Raemon that I really struggle to hate it. It's not a Digimon I actively pursue just because it does give me the creeps. Has a bunch of appearances in the Adventure franchise and beyond, and of course most famously in Digimon Adventure 2020, it digivolved for the first time into its proper designated Digivolution, Rare Raemon, and it just doubles down on everything Raemon has. More creepy, more poisonous and polluted looking, more melted, its body even further degraded and decayed, even with its attempts to mechanize itself. It's like a truly disgusting sight and kind of one that I relish seeing. As much as I love cute Digimon, just seeing this rancid Digimon that's also super powerful is great. Unlike a competent enemy of the day, a strong Digimon and one that I want to see more of in future, Raemon and Rare Raemon both get the A. Ooh, we're gonna put them here. Here at A. Next up, we're going back to Skull City. We built Skull City! Let's see how much mileage I can get out of that one stupid meme I made. Skull Greymon and Skull Balukimon. Technically not related other than being Skull Digimon, but obviously now in my head they kind of form this partnership. Skull Greymon, of course, is iconic. I talked about it in my video about the history of Dark Digivolution. I talked about it recently with the kind of partners getting Dark Digivolution's idea. Skull Greymon will always stand out to me because it terrified the hell out of me as a kid. If you want to talk about childhood trauma, Skull Greymon is one of those. I literally was scared for Greymon to digivolve after Skull Greymon. I've talked about that before too. There is no way, in particular a Halloween ranking, I couldn't put Skull Greymon at S. Skull Balukimon unfortunately does not have that going for it. It's a really incredible design and definitely has as much spooky, scary skeletons going for it as Skull Greymon does, but not one that I'm personally as attached to. But still a really cool design, one that especially if it got made into an official Dark Digivolution for Garurumon, I would love a lot more, but it's not an S tier. It's going in A. Yeah, I'm putting it bottom A. Sorry, Skull Balukimon, I do like you. We're going to skip over the Night Boys a second to talk about Skull Mammon and Skull Mammon X. In the very small pantheon of Skull and Skeleton Digimon, Skull Mammon is one that has always stood out to me. While I think all the Skull Digimon are evoking imagery of like archaeology sites and stuff, I feel like Skull Mammon is the one that most feels like it was unearthed on an archaeological dig and just retains all that creepiness that Skull Greymon and Skull Balukimon have. I will say I don't love its X antibody. I feel like you could have expanded even further, made it even more decayed, give it more broken bones, make maybe its core, the one thing that is kind of still alive and vulnerable, made that more chaotic or something. So I don't love its X antibody form, but I do very much so love Skull Mammon. Skull Mammon gets the high A and Skull Mammon X gets the low B. It's the way it goes on these streets. And then is Skull Nightmon White, and Skull Nightmon Black Red. Apparently that's what the BR stands for. Skull Nightmon White only shows up in the Crossloader. Skull Nightmon Black Red only shows up in the Crossloader and the Digimon Story Cross Wars games on the DS. But Skull Nightmon himself does have prominent appearances in Digimon Cross Wars and of course more recently Digimon Adventure 2020. Is there an echo in here? I feel like I'm saying that a lot. And it's a very solid design. Definitely has a lot of the spooky factor, and of course its whole thing with spoiler to Digimon Adventure 2020, Gatomon is like, oh, that's kind of a game changer for Digimon. It is cool to have this kind of Dark Knight family, and I think maybe if we were looking at its full evolution line, there might be kind of a different ranking going on for its different evolution, but as it is specifically Skull Nightmon that is an undead Digimon, I'm gonna give all three of these ostensibly variants B. Skull Satamon. I also talked about this briefly in my What If the Digimon Adventure Partners All Dark Digivolve video. A Digimon that has a pretty prominent appearance in Digimon 02 and Frontier, but I think is criminally underused. It's called Skull Satamon. That's metal as fuck. Great design, very spooky. Whoa, he's going up there. He's going right up there. I'm almost tempted to put him higher, but I'm putting him there. No, you know what? He's creepier than Bakemon. He's going high A. I've done it. I've said it. I've done it now.
I'm not allowed. I know I'm not allowed. I've done it now. It's too bleeding late. What are they gonna do? What's gonna happen? Gonna shoot me? I doubt it. They have to catch me first. I'm like a whippet.
Next is Troopmon. I'm a big fan of Minion Digimon, and it has been used in Digimon Cross Wars and in Digimon Adventure 2020. I wish, honestly, Troopmon was used more as a de facto minion in Digimon Adventure 2020 over Sound Birdmon, but it was used quite a lot in the Bagra Army in Cross Wars. I love gas masks. Maybe it's because of that Doctor Who episode, you know, the Are You My Mummy?
Are you
But gas masks kind of terrify me. Maybe it's also because I'm just scared of like nuclear winter and stuff. It's going in A. It's going right there in A. Alright, and let's quickly end the video with the rest of the Vamdamon stragglers, or Myotismon, Myotismon X, and Venom Myotismon. Myotismon's appearance in Digimon Adventure is one of my favorites of all time. It is an arc that I was sorely missing from Digimon Adventure 2020. I'm fine with the fact that Digimon Adventure 2020 didn't want to explore that side of things. It's totally fine. Ghost Game is more than making up for kind of like the creepy gothic horror that we didn't get from Digimon Adventure 2020 that we originally got in 1999. Just this almost human looking creepy vampire that in the adventure canon drains the blood of human women. It's really hard to hate, you know. I wish I had a vampire costume for this video because I just want to be Myotismon. He's awesome. He's S tier. Love him. And I do actually like his X antibody form. I don't think it really adds anything in particular, but it definitely, at least in the official art, has more of a kind of Castlevania or even Lucamon vibe to it. Apparently the X antibody made it so that its face and body are now artificial and its true form is just the cape, which is crazy. So it's a walking cape as an X antibody. Design is super solid. I think just as good as regular Myotismon, but definitely with more of a kind of Castlevania vibe to the art style. Like I say, it would be uncharitable of me to also not put him in S. And finally, Venom Myotismon. It's pretty good. As I've said before, I'm always a little bit disappointed when the final form of like cunning, tricky villains is just big and strong and kind of crazy, but I think it was suitable for Digimon Adventure, but more so I think it was great in Digimon V-Tamer. It's part of Neo's army. Definitely not one of my favorites, and I do think generally for me a downgrade from Myotismon, but still very competent and very powerful feeling. The design is a little bit awkward, but still generally pretty scary and definitely fits the Halloween spooky aesthetic. Final ranking of the video, Venom Myotismon gets an A. Yeah, there. Alright, well that was my ranking of all the Ghost and Undead Digimon. Did you agree? Did you disagree? Let me know in the comments down below. Again, remember, it is just me having fun and ranking Digimon. It's not that deep, but the tier maker is also in the description, so if you want to let me know your entire rankings, you can do so in the comments or on Twitter at Karn_EX. Hope you're enjoying Spooktober. We've got one more regular video and then obviously the Ghost Game coverage and stuff that Future Karn is currently doing. Thank you so much for watching. Let's thank some channel members. Future Karn here because there have been a ton of new members since I filmed that video. Huge shout outs to my amazing sovereigns Dogukan and Night 12. You guys becoming sovereigns has blown my mind. I can never repay you, literally, because you're paying me. But thank you so much for becoming sovereigns Dogukan and Night 12. Always great seeing you guys in the Discord. Can't wait to chat up more with you. Thank you so much, Sovereigns. And the legendary Digidestined Super Embro, Metallic Pool, Andrew Sobel, Anthony Bontomasi, Reese Williams, Sad Uncle Callum, and Crimson Dragon Slayer Digidestined. I am so honoured that you choose me to be a channel member for. And the Tamers, including new Tamers, Salmon Slayers, and Seven Wolves Rule, as well as Theo Navarro, Car Ghosty, The Blessed Rain, Sam Mallow, Erin Harpy, Emily, and Mike McNulty. Thank you so much, Tamers. And to everyone in the Karn Club for supporting the channel, you guys are the best. Thank you so much for becoming channel members this month. See you next month for my birthday, and I'll see you next time when we go digital. Bye bye.